Far beyond the familiar stars in a distant and quiet corner of the universe, there existed a galaxy filled with mysteries and forgotten histories. Among the many wonders scattered across its vastness was the story of the Velnari, a civilization so advanced that their technology seemed almost magical to other species. Yet despite their greatness, the Velnari had vanished without leaving any clear sign of where they had gone or why. Only their ruins remained, silent reminders of a power long lost to time. These ruins were found on planets with cracked surfaces and empty skies, abandoned cities that stretched out like shadows, and space stations orbiting lifeless worlds. The most intriguing of all these relics was a massive, ancient space station, drifting alone in the blackness far from any trade routes or inhabited systems. It was here, in the heart of this ghostly relic, that the Velnari were said to have hidden their greatest treasure: warp technology, a secret that could bend space and time, allowing ships to travel faster than light itself. For centuries, many alien civilizations had tried to unlock this secret, believing that whoever controlled the warp tech would hold the key to power and knowledge beyond imagination. Yet, every attempt ended in failure. Complex encryption codes, strange alien symbols, and protective wards guarded the vault containing the warp core. The station's systems were unlike anything anyone had ever seen before, layers upon layers of security that resisted even the most skilled hackers and engineers. Many speculated that the Velnari had designed it to be impossible to open, a test for those who might come after them or a safeguard to keep their power from falling into the wrong hands. The legends of the warp vault spread far and wide, whispered, in the halls of academies and among spacefarers who dreamed of touching the stars in ways no one else could. Then, one day, a human exploratory fleet entered this forgotten sector. Unlike other species, humans were newcomers to the galaxy's deeper mysteries, but they carried with them a sense of curiosity and daring that had always driven them forward. Their ships were modest compared to the massive war vessels of some alien empires, but they were equipped with flexible, adaptive technology and minds unafraid to question old assumptions. When the humans detected the drifting station, their sensors picked up faint signals, strange patterns of energy that hinted at something more than just debris. Commander Arya Kessler, leading the expedition, ordered a cautious approach. The crew was tense but excited. No one knew exactly what they would find inside. The station's hull was scarred and pocked, yet it held together against the silent void. As their ships docked, teams prepared to enter the airlock. Inside, the station was a maze of shadows and flickering lights, corridors that stretched endlessly, and consoles covered in alien script. The air was stale but not completely dead, signs that some systems might still be active. Dr. Elena Maris, the lead scientist, felt her heart race. This was what she had dreamed of, the chance to touch history and maybe change the future. Her team began scanning the vault's outer door, a massive panel embedded with glowing symbols and shifting shapes. The encryption was unlike anything on Earth or any other planet humans had visited. Yet instead of frustration, Elena felt a spark of excitement. Where other species had relied on brute force or ancient alien codes, she saw a challenge, a puzzle waiting to be solved with a new kind of thinking. The humans worked long hours, piecing together fragments of information, watching for any pattern or clue hidden in the alien language. Slowly, a theory emerged. The encryption was based on numbers and sequences that seemed familiar yet mysterious, like a hidden language of math and nature. The tension in the room grew as the clock ticked. Could it really be possible that humans, the newcomers, might succeed where countless others had failed? Outside, the rest of the galaxy watched with growing interest. Some were skeptical, thinking the humans were naive or lucky. Others feared what might happen if warp technology fell into human hands. Would it upset the balance of power or lead to new conflicts? Inside the station, the humans ignored the doubts. They were driven by something more than ambition, a deep desire to understand and explore. As the encryption began to unravel, the station hummed to life. Lights flickered on, corridors opened, and a distant low pulse echoed through the walls. The humans had crossed a threshold, awakening a secret buried for millennia. What lay beyond the vault door was still unknown, but one thing was certain: The discovery of the warp tech would change everything. The galaxy was about to witness a new chapter, and humanity was at its center. Yet the shadow of the Velnari's disappearance lingered, reminding everyone that with great power came great mystery, and not all secrets were meant to be uncovered without consequence. As the humans stood before the ancient vault, a sense of quiet determination filled the air. The other alien species that had come before them had tried everything, from brute force attacks that overloaded systems and shattered circuits, to using arcane hacking methods passed down over centuries, methods built on complex algorithms and alien logic that no one else truly understood. Yet all of those attempts had failed, and many had given up, convinced the Velnari had created a lock impossible to pick. But the humans were different. They did not come with centuries of tradition or heavy tools designed for breaking. Instead, they brought fresh eyes and bold, unconventional thinking. Dr. Elena Maris, the lead scientist on the expedition, was calm but alert as she examined the vault's encryption. Her mind did not try to attack the problem with force. Instead, she searched for patterns for meaning hidden in the seemingly chaotic symbols flashing on the console. Time passed slowly. The only sound was the quiet hum of equipment and the occasional beep from the scanners. Then, almost suddenly, Elena's eyes lit up. She had found something. A series of numbers and sequences that repeated, but not randomly. These were prime numbers interwoven with the Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical pattern known to humans and often found in nature, from the petals of flowers to the spiral of galaxies. What fascinated her was that this ancient alien technology, so mysterious and advanced, was built on the same basic mathematical principles that humans had discovered on Earth. It was as if the Velnari and humanity shared a secret language of the universe itself. With this insight, Elena's team began to work faster, inputting the sequences into their decryption software, testing and adjusting with careful precision. Every attempt peeled back another layer of the encryption, revealing more of the vault's secrets. The security protocols that once seemed impenetrable suddenly looked like puzzles waiting for the right key. Within minutes, the humans bypassed systems that had defied the galaxy's best minds for generations. The room buzzed with quiet excitement, but no one spoke loudly. They knew this was only the beginning. As the final layer of encryption dissolved, the vault's massive door started to open with a slow mechanical groan that echoed through the station's empty halls. Outside the station, sensors picked up the change, sending signals to distant ships and command centers. The news spread. Quickly, across star systems, aliens listened to the reports in disbelief. Humans, known for their short history and lack of ancient wisdom, had cracked the Velnari warp technology in mere minutes. The revelation caused a wave of shock and awe. Some alien leaders called it a miracle. Others whispered of luck or a secret advantage. But those who watched closely understood that this was something deeper, a sign of human creativity and insight. Commander Arya Kessler stood beside Elena, watching the vault slowly reveal its contents. Inside, strange devices shimmered with energy, their forms unlike anything seen before, machines that seemed to hum with life and power. The warp core, the heart of the technology, glowed softly, waiting to be understood and used. Yet, as the humans celebrated this breakthrough, a quiet question hung in the air. Why had the Velnari hidden their technology in such a way? Was it merely to protect it? Or was there a reason no one had been able to unlock it for so long? On the crew felt a chill, as if awakening this ancient power might bring consequences they could not yet see. But for now, the moment was theirs. They had succeeded where others had failed, proving that sometimes fresh perspective and determination could overcome the most complex challenges. The galaxy's balance was shifting, and humanity was stepping into a new role, not just as explorers but as holders of a power that could change the future of space travel and beyond. The story of how humans cracked the Velnari warp tech would soon become legend, a tale of curiosity, courage, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. News of humanity's incredible breakthrough spread faster than light itself, crossing star systems and reaching the ears of countless alien civilizations with a speed and intensity no one had expected. Some, among the great interstellar alliances, reacted with genuine admiration, openly praising the humans for their ingenuity and fresh approach to problems that had stumped the galaxy's most advanced minds for centuries. These factions saw hope in humanity's success, believing it could bring new energy to exploration and scientific discovery. However, not all responses were so welcoming. In the shadowed halls of power, envy and fear quietly grew. For many alien leaders, the sudden arrival of humans as holders of the lost Velnari warp technology was a threat to the carefully maintained balance of power. Questions arose rapidly. How had these newcomers managed to succeed where ancient civilizations had failed? Were they hiding other secrets? Could humans become a dangerous force that might upset the peace? Some factions whispered accusations of theft or cheating, claiming that the humans must have found a shortcut, or that they somehow tricked their way into the vault. Officials from rival species demanded immediate sharing of the technology, warning of political consequences if the humans refused. The pressure on the human fleet was immense, their every move watched and judged. Yet despite the growing tensions, the humans remained calm and focused. Commander Arya Kessler and Dr. Elena Maris made clear their intentions were peaceful and rooted in scientific curiosity. They invited representatives from other species to collaborate openly, hoping to share knowledge and work together to understand the warp technology fully. "This is not about power or control," Elena explained during a rare public broadcast that was translated into countless languages. "It is about learning, growing, and exploring together. Our success is not because we are better, but because we think differently. We look beyond old traditions and try new ways to solve old problems." This message, though sincere, did not ease all fears. Some alien governments continued to prepare for the possibility of conflict, sending fleets to patrol borders and reinforcing alliances. Rumors spread that certain groups might try to seize the technology by force. Amidst this uncertainty, humanity took its first bold step. The flagship of the human fleet, the Endeavor, was fitted with the newly unlocked Velnari warp drive. The entire galaxy watched as the ship powered up, systems glowing with alien energy and human engineering combined. As the Endeavor engaged, the warp core and vanished from normal space, traveling faster than light. A ripple of excitement swept through the cosmos. The event was historic, proof that the impossible had become possible. Yet alongside the cheers were whispers of doubt. What would this new power bring? Would it lead to peace through shared knowledge, or spark a new era of competition and conflict? Diplomatic channels buzzed with urgent messages. Some species sought immediate treaties with humanity, hoping to form alliances and share in the new era of warp travel. Others issued veiled threats, demanding restrictions or control over the technology's use. Back on the human ships, the crew felt the weight of these expectations, but also a deep sense of hope. They knew that cracking the warp tech was only the beginning. Now came the real challenge, using it wisely, balancing exploration with caution, and proving that humanity's way of thinking could build bridges rather than walls. As they prepared for their next missions into the far reaches of space, the humans understood that they had become not just explorers but symbols of change. The galaxy was watching, waiting to see if this new chapter would lead to unity or division. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: nothing would ever be the same again. With the Velnari warp technology finally unlocked, humanity stood at the edge of a new era, ready to journey into the farthest corners of space that had once been beyond reach. The moment the warp drives activated, the human fleet began to spread out quickly, their ships slipping through the stars faster than anyone had imagined possible. This sudden expansion astonished many alien civilizations, who watched as humans established new outposts, discovered hidden star systems, and mapped previously unknown regions. What set humans apart was not just their speed or technology, but the way they adapted and innovated, blending their own ingenuity with the ancient Velnari secrets. Their tactics in exploration and diplomacy showed creativity and flexibility, qualities that earned them respect and sometimes suspicion. Not every meeting went smoothly. Some species greeted the newcomers warmly, offering alliances and friendship, while others regarded them warily, questioning their sudden rise and the future they might bring. But humans did not shy away from these challenges. Instead, they approached each encounter with openness, learning alien customs, languages, and values, and building bridges where many thought walls would stand. Yet as the fleet ventured deeper into unknown space, they soon realized that unlocking warp travel was only the first part of a much greater journey. The universe was full of dangers and mysteries far beyond human experience. Strange cosmic phenomena appeared, from shifting nebulae that disrupted communications to gravitational storms that bent space itself. These unknown forces tested the limits of the newly acquired technology and the courage of the crews. In some cases, humans faced hostile alien groups who saw their arrival as a threat to control over their territories or resources. Skirmishes and tense negotiations followed, forcing humans to balance strength with diplomacy carefully. The pressure to prove themselves, to live up to the expectations of both their own people and the galaxy at large, grew heavier with every new discovery and encounter. Inside the ships, scientists, engineers, and diplomats worked together to understand not only how the warp drives functioned, but what their broader impact might be. They asked difficult questions about responsibility, ethics, and the risks of spreading such powerful technology too quickly. Could the rush to explore lead to unintended harm? How should the new knowledge be shared? Was there a risk that others might misuse the warp tech for destruction? These questions sparked debates that extended from the command decks to the halls of government back on Earth and in human colonies. Amid the excitement and uncertainty, the human crews found strength in unity and cooperation. Their ability to communicate openly and learn from one another became a key to their success. They realized that the warp technology was not just a tool, but a responsibility, one that required wisdom, patience, and respect for the unknown. As new star systems came into view, humanity's presence began to reshape the political landscape of the galaxy. Some species welcomed this change, eager to join in scientific ventures and cultural exchange, while others withdrew into isolation or formed new alliances to counterbalance the human influence. The humans themselves faced an important decision: whether to push forward rapidly, risking conflict, or to proceed with caution and build lasting relationships that could support a peaceful future. Meanwhile, the mystery of the Velnari lingered in the background. Despite cracking their warp technology, little was known about why this great civilization had vanished, or what secrets might still lie hidden in their ruins. This uncertainty added a layer of suspense and curiosity that drove many missions to continue exploring not only the stars, but the history and fate of the Velnari themselves. Through all these trials and discoveries, humanity's core spirit remained unchanged, a desire to explore, understand, and connect. They learned that true strength came not just from technology, but from the ability to adapt, listen, and grow together. Their journey was just beginning, and the galaxy watched, eager to see what humans would achieve next in this vast and ever-changing cosmos. Years passed, and humanity's journey through the stars grew from a bold experiment into a defining era of galactic history. What had begun as a daring attempt to unlock an ancient alien secret transformed into a legacy that shaped the very fabric of spacefaring civilizations. Humans, once newcomers with no ancient wisdom or vast empires behind them, had risen to stand among the respected leaders of the galaxy. The story of how they cracked the Velnari warp technology in minutes became more than a tale of technical skill. It became a symbol of human ingenuity, determination, and the power of fresh thinking. Scholars and diplomats across many species recounted the moment when the humans, unburdened by old traditions or rigid methods, approached the impossible with curiosity and courage. This approach was slowly changing how others viewed knowledge and progress. Alien cultures known for their strict adherence to ancient customs began to question whether their own ways might be limiting their potential. Inspired by humanity's example, more species started to value creativity, collaboration, and the willingness to explore new ideas even when they challenged long-held beliefs. Across the galaxy, alliances and partnerships formed not just on the basis of technology or military strength, but on shared dreams of discovery and understanding. The once isolated and suspicious worlds began opening their borders to exchange knowledge, culture, and technology, creating a web of connection that spanned light years. This new era of exploration was not without challenges, but the legacy of human determination served as a guiding light. Leaders in distant star systems spoke openly about how a fresh perspective could unlock solutions to problems that seemed unsolvable. It became clear that the greatest power in the galaxy was not hidden in some lost artifact or secret code, but in the way individuals and civilizations thought and adapted. Humans continued to explore unknown worlds, driven not just by the desire for resources or influence, but by an almost childlike wonder at the universe itself. This wonder fueled scientific breakthroughs in medicine, energy, and space travel that benefited all life across the stars. The Velnari warp technology was no longer just a tool. It was a catalyst for growth and cooperation, a reminder that progress required not only skill, but openness and trust. As decades turned into centuries, humanity's role evolved from explorers to teachers, partners, and sometimes mediators in conflicts that arose as the galaxy grew more connected. Their willingness to listen and learn made them trusted voices in councils and forums where the future of countless worlds was debated. Yet, the mystery of the Velnari still held a quiet place in human hearts and minds. While their warp tech had been uncovered, many questions about who the Velnari were, why they vanished, and what secrets might still lie in their ruins remained. This mystery kept the spirit of exploration alive, reminding all that there was always more to discover and understand. The legacy of humans cracking the warp technology became a story passed down through generations, not just as a historical event but as a lesson in humility and hope. It showed that no matter how vast or ancient the challenges might seem, fresh eyes and open minds could change the course of history. In this way, humanity's journey was not just about traveling through space but about expanding the limits of what was possible for all civilizations. The galaxy, once divided by fear and suspicion, moved toward a future shaped by unity and shared dreams. The Velnari warp tech had unlocked more than faster travel. It had unlocked the door to a new way of thinking that would guide the stars for ages to come. And so, standing among the stars, humanity and its allies looked ahead with excitement and determination, knowing that their greatest adventures were still waiting just beyond the next horizon.